Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name's Kara, and this is a channel about my journey getting out of my student loan debt. I've got a nice pile of loans that I'm paying off, and the previous video is one where I tell the story of how I got into all that student loan debt. This one, I wanted to share a couple of places that I go for inspiration to keep on keeping on and make the payments that I need to make. And I also wanted to share what my monthly budget looks like. In 2019, I used 67% of my net income to pay off debt. And in 2020, I enjoy challenges. In 2020, I am using at least 75% of my income to pay off debt. So if you want to watch how that happens, just stay tuned and welcome to the journey. A couple of influences on me. I've recorded this now like 6 times and I keep making mistakes and having to start over. I don't have editing software yet, and now I see why I should get some. But I'm going to very quickly try to get this done just to get the thing up there. My favorite influence, I'm just going to share one. How about that? I'm done messing up and we're just going to get this done because I have things I want to do today besides make a video. My favorite influence on financial matters, my very favorite everything, is Mr. Money Mustache. When I realized how much debt I was in, I started searching online for how am I going to get out of debt? How am I going to pay off my student loans? What in the world have I done to my life? And I came across his blog, and it was sort of a revelation. It was an attitude adjustment. It was really practical. It was a lot of fun. And I was at a place where I had just changed my career. I had just made major changes in my life, and I was feeling very empowered. And his blog is writing from a perspective of empowerment as well. I don't think he would describe it that way. But it was just the right voice at just the right time. For me to come across such practical advice, such straightforward talk about money and about attitude and about staying focused on your goals and not getting distracted by consumerism or advertising, a really fun blog. So I recommend that, Mr. Money Mustache. Of course, there's a lot of YouTube channels about finances, and many of them have been helpful. I subscribe to as many as I have honestly found helpful. So thank you to all of them as well. But I just really need to get on with this video, and I can't talk forever anymore. So my monthly budget, as I promised to share, is a pretty simple affair. I just use pen and paper and a calculator. I can't find an app that works well for me because I'm just not a technological person. I don't use apps for hardly anything. So the apps that I've seen in the past where they track your spending and watch what you're doing out of your bank account, like that's great, and I'm sure many people find them helpful, but I have never really, I just don't know how to build that into my way of keeping track of things. They're not intuitive to me. So what I do, pen and paper. At the start of the month, I write the month at the top of a piece of paper, and on one side I'm going to have my income, and on the other half I'm going to have my expenses. It's very simple. Just want to see the whole thing all at once. I get paid twice a month, and so there's the early pay and the late pay. And then I have space for other income because I do some pet sitting and I clean for a few people around town, so I have some side gigs. So all of that together, and then in the boxes is where I would put the amount that I actually have to work with, paying my debt and paying my bills. Excuse me. So then on the expenses side, there's rent, and I'm very fortunate to have this room to rent. I love this room. It's just what I need. And so my rent is $300 a month. And the couple who own this house are wonderful people. And we have worked out an arrangement where in months where I have time to do house cleaning for them here, to kind of give everything a deep clean, then they lower my rent even more. So the most I'll need to pay is $300 in a month. Sometimes that's down to $200 or even less if I do like a big project and deep clean something. So it's very valuable to me. And if you ever have the opportunity to rent part of your home to somebody, it can make a big difference in someone's life. So give it a shot. Then let's see. So my rent is $300. Then I set aside money every month, $50 for insurance, my vehicle. And that way, when I get to the point in the year, it's every 6 months. I think I pay in May and November. By the time that month comes where the bill is due, I have enough money set aside to just pay it and not worry. I give money to my church every month. It's not very much, but it's an amount that feels significant to me. And I want to do that even while I'm in debt, a little bit. It feels good to give. I like to set aside a little bit of money for Christmas every month. And so when December comes, again, I don't have to stress about it. I just know it's okay to go shopping for my nephews and my niece and my parents and my sister. I can get them all a little something. It feels really good. Then I put on a credit card every month my food and fuel and my phone bill. I spend $120 or less on groceries, and I do that by eating a very simple diet, and I love it. I'll talk about that in the future. Fuel, I buy 1 tank of gas a month, and I use that or less. So depending on how the price of fuel fluctuates, $45 is the most I ever need to spend on 1 tank of gas. It's usually been less than that lately, which is great. And then my phone, $35 a month for the phone. I put those on a credit card, and then on the 10th of the month, that card is due, and I pay the whole thing every month. I never let a balance accumulate. And I do that to get the rewards for the card, but it isn't as great a reward. It's an REI card, so I wanted to build up an REI dividend, and all of my expenses in the past year, when I got my 2019 statement from REI, I got like $60 dividend, and I'm not sure I need that. Although, I don't know. Anyway, I might not bother with funneling any of my bills through that credit card in the future. Who knows? Anyway, but I pay it off every month, so not going to get into credit card trouble again. I just thought that I might get a little bonus from REI. Then at the end of the month, my student loans come due, and I've got one loan holder called Aspire, and the interest on that is really low. It's only 2%, and so I just pay the minimum there. And the other one, maybe some of you are working with Navient, and my loans through Navient have a 6.8% interest, and so I pay as much as possible on that every month. And for now, that means I'm paying at Aspire, I'm paying $155, and at Navient, I pay at least $13.75 every month in order to pay off as much as I can. That does definitely use more than 75% of my income at this point. And this is the amount I need to pay every month in order to pay off my loans before I'm 40. I have said it before, but I want other problems in my 40s, not my student loans. So I have to do at least this much every month, and I can get out of debt before I'm 40. So the income side of things, my wages, I can generally count on having at least $1,000 each pay period. And then my side jobs, I mean, it fluctuates, but it's between $50 and $100 each pay period. So then, I mean, it isn't much. I told you I have a tight budget, and I mean it. I have to do the side jobs. I have to do the house cleaning around here in order to lower my rent. And then it just squeaks by. Let's see. If I didn't do the house cleaning here at my house and paid my full rent, my monthly expenses come to $22.40 altogether. That's the expense amount. And then on the income side, sometimes it's a little bit of a squeeze and a reality check for me to look at this, but I generally do make enough with the side jobs to cover all of my expenses and a little extra so that I don't just pay these amounts that I've estimated on my student loans. I usually manage to pay a little bit more. But it's tight, and now you see how tight. And I am just going to get done with this video and get it posted because this is one of those days where it's like, am I going to do anything else besides talk to my laptop? Yes. So I'll see you next week.